I knew that I had to get right with God. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is MissSheleathaMaxine, and I would like for you to stay a while. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Tonight, I'm coming to you with another episode of Rollers and Real Talk. Tonight's episode is going to be very sensitive for me. This is something that I've been struggling with, and I've gave you guys hints that I was going to talk about this in a future video. Let's just jump right into this episode. I have a real battle with religion, and as a lot of you may know from my reaction video with Chow, the religion that I am most familiar with is Jehovah Witnesses. And I've been straddling the fence since I knew what straddling the fence meant. This has been an ongoing situation for me. I am truly battling with what I know is right and how I'm still doing what's wrong. And I'm sure many of you can relate, because we all want that spiritual connection. We want to feel, we want to have a strong relationship with God. And a lot of the times, you know, I fall short. And I know we're imperfect, and I can't keep using that as an excuse. Anytime I do something that I know in my heart is bad, you know, I always say, okay, well, I'll just pray about it. And a lot of the times we lean on prayer, forgetting that prayer without works is dead. You know what I mean? And that's even in the Bible. So I feel like I totally rely on the forgiveness of God and consciously make bad decisions. So Jehovah Witnesses are both on my mom and my father's side. My grandmother is baptized on my mother's side. My grandmother on my father's side was baptized. She passed away earlier this year. My aunt is baptized. You know, my other aunt on my father's side is baptized. So, you know, this is what I grew up in. And the older I got, the more I realized how important it was to me. And, you know, some of my friends are Muslim, Baptist, you know, things like that. But this is something that I've always connected with. If I am a little drowsy, it's because it's 11:05, and this is usually the time that I'm knocked out. Let me tell you how crazy this is. Real quick break. I picked up a Snickers, and if this Snickers is not me, I am always sleepy, and I didn't even know that this Snickers said sleepy until I picked it up. I'm like, let me just eat a Snicker bar real quick to try to wake me up, get a sugar rush. And I'm like, how crazy is that? Okay, so anyway, back to the issue at hand. So Jehovah Witnesses have always, you know, been a part of my family, and I felt like a lot of the times I was making decisions not keeping my faith first. And it's hard. It is hard to want to be committed to that way of life, because it is a structured way of living. You know, if you guys aren't familiar with Jehovah Witnesses, they don't celebrate holidays. You know, they don't curse. They don't pretty much they don't do anything in the secular world or worldly or wicked type of activities. They don't participate in. And that's something that has been hard for me. And I'm not an evil person, I'm not a bad person, but I feel like a lot of the times I make decisions that I know God does not approve of. And it's been hard for me. It's been really hard for me. I have a study. I do study every week. I try to study every week. You know, I try to sacrifice some time. And I don't know, you guys, like, it bothers me. I think about it all the time. I pray, I talk to God. He knows my heart, and I wish that I had the courage and the conviction to truly become a Jehovah's Witness, because I know that that is the truth. And it's crazy because as these days go by, and if you're familiar with Jehovah's Witnesses, you know that it's common to hear we are living in the last days. And it's very prevalent. You know what I mean? These things that's happening with these wars and this tension and greed, money lovers, and evil, you know, all of these things are happening right before my eyes, and I'm just like, Shaleatha, wake up. You know, what is it gonna take? And I battle with that. It's such an ongoing battle. It's difficult for me to break my bad habits. And when I say bad habits, I'm gonna just keep it 100% with y'all. You know, living with my boyfriend, we're not married, we're not engaged, that is a bad decision. Committing fornication is a bad decision. These things that I do and I know that I should not be doing, I do it anyway, and I just can't figure out why I'm continuing to put myself in a position that makes me feel guilty. Looking at porn, I mean, that's one of the most common things I guess everybody could relate to, because we all enjoy it, and it is the desire of the world. You know, it's a lot of things that plays into me as a person that I know I have to fix and tweak in order to get right with Jehovah, and it's hard. It is so hard for me. And then because my boyfriend is not familiar with it, you know, in the Bible it says that, not verbatim, but in the Bible it says that, you know, the man is supposed to be the spiritual head. You know, he's supposed to uplift you, and when you feeling away or when you don't feel 100% to come to God, he's supposed to be there to motivate you. And because Child is the most religious person I know, when I'm feeling like I don't want to make a meeting or I don't want to have my study, you know, he doesn't have that in him to say, babe, you really need to go to this meeting, let's go, get up, let's do this. And I can't force that on him. He was not raised into any type of religion, so it's hard for me to look to him to be the spiritual head when he is not spiritual at all. Now, he's not totally opposed to learning about Jehovah Witnesses and the truth and things like that, but he's 30 years old, so it's going to take him a minute to get to the point that I am. And when I see these things and I read about them and I see the news, like, y'all, the news is so depressing. I can't even watch the news. I turned off the notifications on my phone because it's like every single story has been prophesized in the Bible. You know, in the last days, nation will rise against nation, man against man. I mean, these are things that are happening on a daily, and it's getting worse. And I have to truly find a balance, and that's something that I do not have. My mom suffered a medical situation back in December, and if I get emotional, I am sorry, but anytime I talk about my mom, it puts me in such a vulnerable spot. And you know, when my mom went through her situation in December, I still have a hard time thinking about this, but when my mom went through her situation in December, I felt so alone. I felt like, why is this happening to the strongest person I know? And to watch my mom be so weak. Like, my mom is the strongest person I know. Male and female, she's the strongest person I know. So to watch her, you know, be so dependent on everybody because of her medical situation, I knew that I had to get right with God in order for him to help my family and especially help my mom. I knew I had to fix my relationship with God and strengthen it. And I'm sorry, God. Okay, so I restarted my studies. I've been studying the Bible since I could have my personal study. I'm talking maybe 10, 11, where I could really, you know, begin to understand the Bible and everything like that. And I just feel like at the age of 26, I should be way further in the truth than I am. And I know, you know, it takes time and it takes patience and it takes a lot of discipline. And I think that that's what I lacked most. And that's around the board. My discipline is not great. So, you know, it's hard for me to be 100% committed into the truth. And sometimes I punish myself for it, because I feel like on Sundays when I wake up and I need to go to my meeting, I let everything play an excuse. I let everything become a factor into why I can't. I'm just trying to find a brush, y'all, because this is just messing up my highlight. I can't take it. Where's that brush? Lord Jesus. I'm sorry, I'm still a girl. God. Can't be up here looking crazy. I'm already looking crazy. Ooh. Why y'all ain't tell me? Nobody told me I done cried a tear into my makeup and you could see it, Lord Jesus. Oh. Oh, God. I'm gonna try not to cry, y'all. That was my first and last time. Y'all got my word. I'm not crying no more. Okay. Woo. You know, it's just been extremely hard for me to commit myself and be in this structured way of living when I love, you know, R&B. I love love songs. I love talking crap. I love seeing things I know I'm not supposed to be seeing. I used to love strip clubs. I loved all these things. I had my tongue pierced. You know, I was doing a lot of worldly things, and in the back of my head I knew I should not be doing this. You know, we all go through those points in life, those times in our lives where we feel like we know better. And a lot of the times I felt like, girl, you know better. You know that God will disapprove of this. You know that. And I don't know if it's the imperfection in me, but it's hard for me. Y'all don't understand. Like when I go to the meetings and I see these young brothers and sisters and their publishers, and whether they're baptized or not, but they're still putting forth that effort to gain a closer relationship with God. I like admire that so much, and I wish that I could truly transform and be 100% dedicated to God with no interruptions, with no distractions, just truly dedicating my life to God. I wish I was at that point, and it hurts bad when I think about it. And ever since my mom had her situation, she has become more distant, and she lost a lot of faith because she was dependent on God to protect her. But you know, I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in what God is supposed to be doing that we forget that he has an enemy. You know, Satan is the creator of all evil. So things that happen, sickness, death, pain, disappointment, hurt, all of those are things that Satan put into this world, and that's why we experience it. So sometimes we lose somebody, we quick to question God and ask God why, not really realizing that, okay, he has an opposer that is very powerful, and right now is the ruler of this wicked earth. So, you know, a lot of these things play into my head, and sometimes it's hard for me to sleep at night. And I know where I need to be, and it's been such an uphill battle to get there. Now, not even just being in a relationship that is hard for me to commit, but also the friends that I have, the things that I like. You know, to God, he may frown upon, but for some crazy, deranged reason, these things bring me joy. And I hate that. I really do. I don't hate myself. I just hate the fact that I could fall in love with my desire as opposed to what I need to be doing. You know what I mean? I'm not as faithful as I want to be. I find myself sometimes praying when things are bad. And I need to learn how to adopt the attitude of praying when things are great. Thanking him. All of these things, they trouble me, and they put me in a position where I literally just want to crawl into a corner and don't come out. Especially what's going on right now. Like, you can't turn on the news. I know I keep talking about it, but it's so real. You can't even turn on the news without getting upset. So, excuse me, I was thirsty. So this has been like extremely difficult. I was watching a movie on the JW app, and you know, it was so real. I was crying like a baby. My eyes were swollen, my nose was stuffed up, and the concept of the movie was pretty much two young adults, you know, both in the truth, and both of them having completely polar opposite situations. One sister was with someone who loved the Kingdom Hall and Jehovah as much as she did, if not more, and was making Jehovah a priority. And then the other girl was in the truth, but the person she chose to be with pretty much put God secondary to everything. So their relationship was struggling. She was at a point where she wanted to just leave it all. And you know, in the truth, there's no such thing as divorce. I mean, you get married with the intent to stay married. So yeah, she was dealing with that, and she was crying, and she was so hurt, and she was trying to figure out, why can't I have what she has? And you know, it was clear as day. You know, if there's a division in the household, especially a religious division, you're not going to have that 100% happiness. And I was explaining to Child, like, whenever we hit a rough patch, I want us to both be able to depend on God and come to Him together and pray to help fix our relationship, give us the strength and the guidance to fix our relationship so we don't call it quits. And it's unfortunate, but Child and I we don't have that. You know, I want us to get there, but we don't have that right now. And sometimes it's a harsh reminder, especially seeing that movie. It was such a harsh reminder that this may be what I'm facing. And it's like, am I ready to endure that? You know, should I endure that? Sometimes we get lost in relationships where we don't even talk to God anymore. We're just so consumed in these relationships, and it's just like, oh my God, Lee, get it together. So, you know, I'm still struggling with that. I am continuing my Bible study. I'm trying to make my meetings. I'm trying not to be so hard on myself. And I'm trying to leave my burden on God and let Him know that I am trying to work and ask Him to help me through this process, because He knows my heart and He knows how much of a process this truly is. So I'm going to just stop this episode right here, because I feel myself going on for hours and hours, and y'all know I ramble like somebody's fool. So that wraps up this episode of Rollers and Real Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you can relate to this, and it doesn't even have to be with Jehovah Witnesses, it could be with, you know, the Nation of Islam, it could be with any other religion. If you can relate to this, let me know your story. Leave a comment. I would love to read and not feel so alone. So, you know, let me know if you struggle with straddling the fence. If you know what's right but you're continuing to do what's wrong, if you want to get to that point of true commitment and conviction, let me know your story. I would love to hear it. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna finish this Snickers. I probably shouldn't eat chocolate before bed, but oh well. I'm gonna finish this Snickers. I'm gonna lay down and wait for Child to come into bed, because he's playing the game right now. That is the only time. That's why it's so quiet in this room. But I love you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate your time and hearing me rant and ramble. Even if I was all over the place, I really appreciate it. If you have any ideas or suggestions on future episodes of Rollers and Real Talk or Blazing Chronicles, or if you'd like to see any type of makeup challenges or whatever, definitely leave it in the comments. I would love to do them all. Thank you guys once again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, and by the way, hit that notification bell. Hit the little gray bell so you can get notified every time I post a video. I'm going to be more frequent, and you're going to see more of me. Alright, I'm out of here. Thanks guys. See you in my next video.